there's a lot on my plate, and there's a lot on humanity's plate. The main call, the Taurian call, we're still kind of just in the shadow of the eclipse in Taurus. Is that is to love God, love God and really slow down into your minute, your what I mean is micro climate, down to how do you feel? That's the very Venetian thing that Taurus really represents, is right after the I am, which is just the busting through and we are physical, and now it's like it's more quality control orientated. And we don't really have to ever leave from these beginning awarenesses, the experience of our very first awakening, which is the evolution of human consciousness. If we move away from, okay, so the beginning is the Mars factor is masculine, is the physical, is just pointing at the physical, and then there's the Venus, which is actually woman, which is the same. It's just the organism is there now, and now the entire universe is there somehow. That now, whatever that is, we're getting more and more like hip to the fact it's like, whoa, this is a hell of a technology. And my spacesuit, I kind of like it a little bit. Yes, I like mine. How do you like your spacesuit? You have to be careful. There's something that says "fuck your spacesuit," and then they kind of don't want you to have a good spacesuit. I made a video about that, that I'm gonna put up here and then here. It's like, woo, that video. I hope you catch it. Um, just trying to be here now with the energies. It's really hard. Um, so, but now this is what meditation is here for us to do, is to look past the details of all of the microclimatic sensations, really our experience within and without. Um, Meditation is here to bring us even more centered in right in between, I guess, that within and without, kind of, so to speak, but more as just the witness of all of this, really, and you know, this is a long subject matter. I can't cram into just 9 minutes. More like give me 3 hours to explain meditation. And a lot of people don't know what that is, and so. But rumor has it is that the real life meditative being, which probably is a human thing, human. So, well, so far, babes, I can't come from any other place than being human, right? Like my body, and I say the universe is human. So I can't come from any other place than the universe, which is like an extension of my body or something, or vice versa. The universe is I'm an extension of the universe. However, we should include that yin yang. It's kind of oscillating. And if you aren't into this conversation, then that's too bad, because science starts to talk like strange stuff like this, and nobody would ever really allow real science because of the communication factor in the first place. There's plenty of people to get stuck on a word and the way that something sounds and the way they think about it, and so it's not for everybody. And no, in other words, not everybody is going to be making an escape here. You have to go through the truth, and we're talking about the truth, babes. When you meditate, it's the same for everybody. And that's why you want to meditate. That's why it's such an imperative. It's like it's the only cure for mankind, is to first of all find out what meditation is, and then when you really find out what it is, there isn't anything more or less to do, as far as like if you were to go to university or something. You just have to be around other meditators. You need to be around in the environment of meditation, and uh, amongst other meditators. And now that language right there is very vague. I would have take another 10 minutes to explain to you or let's say just 20 seconds to try and round it down. What is an environment of meditation? Well, reality, reality. And then, but we can start getting into some real live human situations, like we have a kitchen, there's a place where we cook, there's the yard area, there's the environment. Again, we're talking about reality, but there's things that we do. Music can help you meditate. Any kind of art form will help you meditate. Cleaning the home, cleaning your house, just being present with this moment now. But if you can go deeper, breathe and notice the space that is it is contained within and without, really. There's this tranquil, there's a pristine space, and it's hard to explain the one without saying, well, it's that place right in between the nose and this right here. So if you can just, that's why it's important to have an environment of meditation, which a real master is going to tell you, well, it's here now. Hello? Anytime you're ready to become aware of the only time that you can be aware, which is awareness itself, which is, I love this part. Hi, Jesus, where did you go, by the way? Nobody wants to know the Christ consciousness. It's this moment now. And the real science will teach you and tell you that this is the only way that it can happen. Just like a painter with a canvas says, well, the only way that I can start painting this is to have a blank canvas. Now, to the mind, that's chaos, as well as this whole studio that contains all of the works that is needed. But if you can understand life as being this way, how now the way that a human, I'm about to I'm freaking myself out, just the human aperture is set up. I'm talking about just pure science, like that we are antenna. We are eyes. We have each person has an eye. They have to say I. Has an antenna. The one. And then there's a lot coming off of that. We have symbology from outer space representing all of this phenomenon that I'm just pointing at is called the English alphabet. This, when you put your hands up like this, that's a Y and that's you. All right, but if you were to look at the V as in vase, is the thing, really it's a funnel. If you look at it, because when it's a Y, the V on top of the I, that's what it is. There's that going on, babes. That all that this is for is to bring you into the fundamentals of your existential reality, to get rid of Babylon, to really, and you can't knock what I was about to let you in on, but as far as that, there is so much to talk about. In the future, we're going to try and unravel and unfold all of this. But for me, really, meditation is the way that you would ever understand anything at all. If you ever wanted to understand anything and have a real understanding about anything, and get it, see that is what is going to help us understand. Well, we all get on the same page, roughly, in general. Now, that is to say, the book of real science will begin to open to us what we already already know. But it's such the hoax and joke and fun thing to do, to hide that from our perceptions and take over. It's, something that you need to become alert and aware of now, in your microcosm, within your life. It's not coming from any place but people. And we can talk about this forever, but that's the experience. How that it's like, well, you have a narcissist there who is playing a different game than you are. You may play the game in reality, if you're still holding on to this at a minute 9:36. Then you're probably most likely daring to go with the truth, and in reality. So you're still hanging on to the words that I'm saying, and so then now you have a narcissist who isn't that, they're not oriented that way. Their mind has been taken to something. Now, what is it? I want to go general, and I would say it's fear. It's really hard to talk about this subject matter, but it's the most important thing to ever become aware of. As that I would just start crying right now, because the way humanity needs to know what what's the cure, and then but what is there a problem? What's the problem? You know, the narcissist is creating an overlay with their version of a condition. It's a condition of the human experience that's happening in reality. It's not reality itself, but they create a condition that is the world. And there we can see, I mean, through there we can only see and investigate the symptoms of the root of the problem, which is that mentality. It's mind, it's mental. Mind the word men in there. There's a reason. It's profound. It's very scientific. You want to get back to scientific. It's not a thing of gender. It's just that's the way that they're wired up. And if we understand that more, you see, I claim as the woman side of the organism that you should never take advantage of that uh, thing. First of all, you'll be in trouble. You're setting yourself up for something if you think you can control a man's mind away from God. See, that is a very controversial thing to say. I might have said it completely wrong. But what is that? You know, what do you think I meant? You know, it's not just me here, and I'm going to be keep ringing my bell here. It's a matter of our out of our best interest, you know, as say, if you really want to have a decent experience here on the planet, which the universe is really made for that. You know, there are challenges, but that's nothing to say that that's a bad thing. Though that's what makes us strong. Everybody knows that language, but we cannot qualify. We need to figure out, where is this language coming from? Okay, so I was about to talk to you about, there's the fear orientation, which is mind, and then there's the real science orientation, which is the heart, right? That's like the truth. And oh boy, the science of the heart is so much different than the mind. The mind needs to, and this is a fact. Not even Sam Backman or anybody is getting this right, and they're all men. This is probably why they can, some reason they aren't allowed to do this math yet or something. But the mind follows the body. Body does not follow the mind. It's somehow that you've gotten backed up into the corner where now you have to rewire your mind to follow your body, to get into your body. Then I say that yes, you are at the peak full illness there, and you may be saying something, but it's because you missed this fundamental fact of the experience that is totally human. See, our minds are very, well, if you notice, they're kind of big. You know, a bird doesn't need that size of a brain, but there's some reason for this that could be highly technological. It could be that we have a creator. Imagine that. And so then that just means you're not really that responsible for your biological factory. But you can be, you are, what I mean is that you're not the one creating reality here, nor the truth that you see. And this is why I get irritated and sound direct and pissed, is because there is all kinds of philosophy out there that says that, and says, you know, and I say, you know, you can sure eliminate all of that stress and whatever it is you think you need to do after this, after that notion, by just realizing, no, this was here, this was, you're like one with this, you're one with it, but still, that even the universe itself has probably just a creator. There's probably many creators, you know, and we don't know where that is, by the way. We don't know where the universe is. I mean, you know, if you knew the real science behind vibrational frequency and what your senses are up to and all that, and how this might be a spacesuit, then you'll begin to realize, yeah, no, I don't really know what's going on here. You know, like the in and the ins and the outs. Like, so getting back to how maybe this is a school about that, and of course it is. You know, and it's kind of rude for people say, well, Jesus, can I relate with you a little tiny bit? It's just a story. Like, so who do you relate with? Well, certainly for the more sensitive people, of course I know I look like hell, but I'm teaching you a lesson about that. Oh, we can immediately, this is just an illusion. Boy, it's one day to the next, one moment to the next. You'll see that we are like 35 different people. You know, and that's not that's not personality problem, like multi-personality problem. No, that's a real human being. We're alive like water. I was trying to tell you the story about how I would relate with Jesus over there, who just the sensitive people who look around and see, well, that geometry is a little bit off. Did you know that there's a correct way to do that? No, by the way, that's rotten. You know, well, I wouldn't do. Well, you don't do it like that. You know, I mean, I'm sorry. We do still. Where's Venus right now? Is Venus still in Virgo? There is such a thing as the details here. Poor Virgo Virgin. Let's get back to the Virgin. Did you know how it's all made up of just a simple, beautiful? Talk about geometry again, babes. Music. You know, it's okay. It's okay to fall back on the original design, which is just the Virgin. These words that we use are terrible because somebody has humanized it in something. And what I mean is peopleified it. Uh, and peopleification. You know, it's like that. You don't have to do that because that's not what's happening. We have just an apparatus that does a lot of talking, and that's a problem. That's a problem. There's a problem there. Too much talking. We are in the age of Babylon. Needs to, you know, if you say something, please try and be a brain surgeon and go into that little brain ball and activate the neurons in there a little bit. You know, and it would have to be based in, now let's get back to some experiences that maybe you've had. Try life itself. You know, I mean, you do not have to be a freaking pole vaulting acrobat to start relating to me. We're all handicapped here. I mean, especially, I'm just going to exclude. I love everybody, even all the narcissists are handicapped to me. I cannot get on the level of saying, like, these are an enemy and a problem and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, these people are special needs people. They've been beaten by something that just said no to them too many times at the wrong time. And then there's other extremes. The other extremes are nothing compared to just the subtle fucking I am actually a non-presence also, and it's all about materialistic bullshit and woo. I don't know when to end this conversation. It's just that I have a lot of work to do out there today, but it's not very that much work. You know, I love picking the fruits. I got to pick all the fruits off. It froze a little bit last night, you guys. Got down to 28 degrees, and chances are I have some damages to look at a little bit. But I managed to save some things this morning with a little prayer, babes. I just can't have this. You know, you do prayer, and then uh, I hate to say it, but miracles happen. You know, well, what can happen. You do not need to think. Now, contrary to what I was just talking about, you qualify if you got this far. Um, this is just going from the place of imagination and really knowing what we would be capable of if we are operating along the lines of, well, what is creation and what is reality? Let's get back to that canvas and what the painter is working with there. It's chaos. Just the nature of it is chaos. So you can create you can create whatever you want. I just contradicted myself. But what I mean is that along the ley lines of the truth is what I say as a musician. It's like you're not creating anything unless you look at that original one center of a note. There's a center, and the goal is music, right? So that thing there is don't ever let that fade away, babes. There's a movement to have all of the symmetry and all of the real core essence of things taken out and replaced with a very, very, very unlively and it doesn't have a core essence to it. It's off. It's called the schism. I don't know if you know about that. Comment section down below. Um, we're gonna get over it. It's a big wave where with that schism, babe, things that are manufactured or building on that doesn't have a solid foundation. I know you've all heard it. I mean, it's like the big bad wolf, you know, or the three little piggies or whatever. And do they have a strong enough home for the storms blowing through? Really getting back to how is your own constitution? Do you know what's happening on this planet? It is not a fucking tra-la-la land. This is a place, this is a dangerous place. If you're not knowing the simple thing that's happening here, let's get back to doing martial arts with your meditation, which involves a realization on a microclimatic or cosmic level that is very personal. And it opens you back up, or it opens you up. If you have come on, you need to study some kind of art form, read books about something, learn astrology, but read books by poets who are timeless poets. Khalil Gibran, Paul Coelho, is that his name? Paul Coelho, and well, Jesus Christ was said to have reported to have said some things. Just a small pamphlet. Any Christ, any guru that is renowned, there's a reason. You know, there's books are just like television sets, Huns. Just a little bit of it, you need to find the right experience and that opens your mind to just experiencing. What you are to do here is have your experience that begins to align with the rest of the darned organism here, scientifically, very scientifically, because I'm here to say it's the same for everybody, generally. We can't get any farther. Say, if you want to go to 5D and use your imagination and start levitating and do these weird things like sitting in a boiling pot of water and saying, oh, this is cool. Or sitting in a cold pot of water, ice cubes, and saying, oh, this is getting warm for me, you know. Until we start mastering the mind, getting above. See, once we start getting above the limitation of mind, which is thought, and the programming. See, there wouldn't be a reason to for this fucking video right now if I couldn't tell you about maybe there is if you consider the couch potato versus the one who is pole vaulting and doing just walking on a balance beam every day. They are superhuman compared to this one. So what I'm talking about is being the capacity of superhuman, superhero. We live in a time now that it's like a drag. It's deficited because so many people are disconnected from their own possibility that even instant healing is possible, and also just moving. Now the challenge is, it is challenging for the mind to move along the ley lines of the truth. Trust that what you've seen there was the truth, and then work it again. Expand. You're going to come back into the spiral, and you come back and you expand in awareness about it, and now you're learning in a different way that isn't thought. It's the experience, and now I'm getting back into the body. This happens early, but now you're training your mind how to learn and how to learn and what to learn. You know, there's people that are doing it inside out, which is very money oriented. So you see things just being done, and it's not done correctly. And I'm sorry, I'm not interested in that fucking civilization. It's not a civilization at all. If you look at the frequency and the way it's going, it's hideous. It's hideous. And we have signs, we have structure, we have signs of structures on this planet, as you know, that tells a different story, that we could possibly have lived a different way. Includes our aqueducts that I say, of course, they control the weather with their massive stone carvings and stuff, the size of mountains, of course. And why would you control the weather? Well, because you control the water and the way the crops grow and everything. Anything. This planet Earth, if you want to get really sci-fi, babes, at minute 25, just imagine, you gotta, it's really, your imagination is so that you can look into a truth that you just haven't experienced yet. That's for kids and also, but really, that's what you're doing. That's what might be happening right away. When a child is on its own, and everybody is on its own here, trying to get on its 2 feet, it goes to sleep at night and it reflects deeply, like, well, how did that happen well, I didn't manage to bop my head on the table that time. I actually hung on, and I got a smile from people. The results all around, and it's up to them, and they're going through a process, very delicate right there, that shows them right away. Versus, say they have to get into their imagination and say, well, now I wonder if when I'm standing there like this, and I let go, or whatever, like they maybe have a dream of it, you know what I mean? Just trying to give an example of how that it needs to click in that your body is the teacher of your mind. It's mind, it's body over mind, not mind over body. And so, but now if we were to talk about that on levels, there is mind, body, and mind. Mind, is it Sunday, folks? I'll post this on Sunday. Mind with the small n, small m. You can put ID in there. It's I. Put the I up. The one thing in mind though is the I, Huns. I. And so the mind at the bottom, this picture, the symbols that we would try to make you understand. I'll make that'll be my title. It'll look like this. Mind, body, mind. So mind with the capital I is the ego. You want to be aware of that. That's the one that you want to keep down with your body. Your body is the one who has reality. Your mind can't have it. So the mind must be trained into the body. Then, see, the word in body, this is not a coincidence, this is real to me. The main word is boy. This is the problem of narcissism. The English, the higher benevolence, is trying to give you the cure. Remember how to solve this problem. Don't forget the body, the boy. The boy needs the body. Otherwise, he stays in his mind. And see, it's important because there is the uppercase mind. Uppercase, what I mean is now it's the capital M, mind, the mind of God. In there is still the I, but we put the I down. That's the I is open now. Okay? In, or it's in within. There's the word in there, and then there's ID. There's the inner, and then there's ID. As far as mind is concerned, in there, you can see it. And that's just the simple math that who is going to figure it out? Who's going to run with it? I don't claim, I claim, I have the universe, I have more than enough. We don't know what to do with it after a while. You would rather become a clown, like whatever happens next door, and just use money and do something like that, which I'm about to do. Fuck it. You don't claim your intellectual property here. You do that on a very individual level. I'm come here to do what I have to do, not have to do, but I'm supposed to do. Because I'm graduating. I need to get better. I'm just like you. I need to get better at this microcosm. Just not much. I think we're doing fine. Prayer works. It's not really a worry if you're a being of praise or prayer and just celebrating the truth and being with it, you won't be far off of doing the right things enough. You know, it's really hard to hear, wasn't it Master Jesus over there who, that was nobody's business but hers, and this is nobody's business but mine. You have yours, and like I said, meditation is it. And then you figure out, oh, it's the same. That's what Jesus was trying to say. I don't know why I'm talking about this, but maybe it's a good time to talk about it during Halloween. You know, everybody's blacking out. It's best to just say, well, and what happened to Jesus? You know, everybody blacked out on her. By the way, do not judge a single person until the monetary system is fully abolished that has been conducting a living dead scene. Do not judge a single person. Never do jury duty. Not even a murderer do you judge until that situation is cured up. Solve it. Why do you need it? What happened? Not even thinking, right? Give me about 3 more months. And it's not such the blind spot anymore. It's like, oh God, of course. Why? Because the creative side will open up more. We have no choice but to become more loving and living in the moment now and saying, oh, well, what are you? How are you doing? How are you doing? What are you doing now today? You know, it might come to that, and it's like, oh, I hope so. For the children's sake, they're wondering where is life and when is life and why do I have to do this? That's not fun. I thought I was going to learn something. First of all, did I even get in my body? Did we ever get into our boy? What is that? Who is it? Well, we're pointing at the material world and man, you know, mental, the matter, okay? It's all part of the wave. It's, you know, the humanity. It's one thing going on. And wouldn't you like to get closer and closer to being the creator? As bottom line, you know, it could be a rumor or whatever, but as far as the races are concerned, this conversation is perfectly sound. But when you have something that is racial and that's trying to create divide and all of that, never will we ever get anywhere. We will continue this amazing hoax on humanity and our perception with the black boot stamping on us because of fear. Nobody really steps into a real live capacity of understanding anything beyond that fear. And that's what I'm experiencing over here. And it's like, no, I've done enough. I've done a lot, really. You need to understand you might have been one too yourself who has already done the work. You have done enough work, which would be just your meditation. You're probably a lot healthier. And you don't exhibit such now let's look at geometry, but there's that the main illness is the mind that thinks it's more real. You know, that's it. The mind that thinks it's more real than this being stopped precisely at 33 minutes and 33 seconds, counting from 3, 2, 1.